Quotes of Life by Bruce Willis. Too many children in foster care are falling through cracks. Be a hero, take the time, learn about adoption today. You can't undo the past, but you can certainly not repeat it. Art imitates life and, sometimes, life imitates art. It's a weird combination of elements. I'm much more proud of being a father than being an actor. 9 million terrorists in the world and I gotta kill one with feet smaller than my sister. It doesn't matter how many people I've killed. What matters is how I get along with the people who are still alive. On the one hand, we'll never experience childbirth. On the other hand, we can open all our own jars. I'm really just a regular guy who has had an incredibly blessed life. There is nothing better than strolling down the beach the way God made you. My wife heard me say I love you 1,000 times, but she never once heard me say sorry. I'm always excited to be around other actors. I sometimes only get to work with myself, and it's so tedious. I was so excited to go to work every day, and we ran into work every day. Organized religions in general, in my opinion, are dying forms. They were all very important when we didn't know why the sun moved, why weather changed, why hurricanes occurred, or volcanoes happened. Modern religion is the entrail of modern mythology. But there are people who interpret the Bible literally. Literally. I choose not to believe that's the way. And that's what makes America cool, you know. If you think anyone goes out and commits crimes because of some daffy film they've seen, then I question your judgment. To be guilty of the sin of prayerlessness is to be guilty of the worst form of practical atheism. It is actually saying we can get along without his help while the evidence is very clear on every hand that we cannot. Could it be that the sin of prayerlessness stems from our unbelief that he is a living God who exercises direct influence on the affairs of men? Your kids need your love and attention, and being able to devote myself to them is very fulfilling. As I get older, spending time with my daughters makes things much easier. You learn to put your ego aside. Everyone has a right to bear arms. If you take guns away from legal gun owners, then the only people who have guns are the bad guys. I would say, I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. But I was just kidding myself. All actors have to make the words fit in their mouths, and make the words fit to how you say it and how you make it lifelike and make it look like what you're saying is just conversation that you're just thinking off the top of your head. That process is not quite improvisation. If you catch him, just give me 4 seconds with Saddam Hussein. Organized religions in general, in my opinion, are dying forms. Our marriage is like anybody's marriage, it goes through ups and downs. It's a little garden that you have to tend all the time. When we're home, it's not like we walk around all dolled up going, we are celebrities. We are famous. I change diapers. I clean up dog doo. I'm always being accused of being a Hollywood Republican, but I'm not. I have just as many Democratic ideas as Republican ones. If they could build 3 fewer bombs every month and give the money to foster care, that would be great. But the action film genre is gonna have to come up with some new bad guys. After I did the first Die Hard I said I'd never do another, same after I did the second one and the third. The whole genre was running itself into the ground. I believe in justice, and I believe in people being held responsible for their actions. They hear you own up, and they learn to own up. No one predicts the future. No one tries to. If you take guns away from legal gun owners, then the only people who would have guns would be the bad guys. Even a pacifist would get violent if someone were trying to kill him or her. You would fight for your life, whatever your beliefs. You'd use a rock or tear one of these chairs out of the floor. Hey, maybe I've been watching too many Bruce Willis movies. It's an eclectic film and I think we served the novel really well. And we had a great cast who worked for free. Everyone read it and said, I'm in, from Nick Nolte to Albert Finney to Omar Epps to Barbara Hershey. We really had fun and shot it in a very short time. I think the subject matter is more topical today, more to the point, than it was 30 years ago, when it concerned the Vietnam War. You cannot bring back the past. But you certainly cannot repeat it. Life is short, even if live to 90. Live to the fullest, that's how I feel. Appreciate every moment, every hour, every day, because they do not blink of an eye, all over. I am absolutely sure that for most people their death comes as a surprise. Balding if God's way of showing you are only human. He takes the hair off your head and puts it in your ears. I've done films where you have to get in shape for purely vanity reasons. When you read a script, turn to page 87 and it says, rips his shirt off and casually throws it onto chair, and you're going to go to the gym the next day because nobody wants to see your big fat arse out there taking your shirt off. I think that there are a lot of law enforcement officers out there who work according to their own set of what is right and what is wrong. And that doesn't always include respect for administration cops, you know, people that are higher up the food chain. The difference between trying to be fit and not being fit really means the difference between life and death. There are lots of different parts of movie making that I participate in, but my favorite part is the making of it. I'm scared, every day. I keep thinking someone's going to throw me the ball and I'm going to go, oh, wow. Oh, God. I just messed that up. All the films are hits before you turn the camera on. It's only in the execution that they fail. I've been less than happy with the way a couple of films were edited, but it's a director's prerogative and you gotta go with it. Have you heard anything useful come out of an actor's mouth lately? You can kind of judge how old a film is by the size of the cell phones. There's a long history of all kinds of cop films. But all these films are really about the same thing, the good guys triumphing over the bad guys. Violence, look, we live in a violent world, man. This country was founded on violence. Who's kidding who? If I had a choice, I would do comedy all the time. It's just the most challenging thing. To make someone laugh is the most challenging thing, and the most rewarding thing, in entertainment. My favorite job is being a father. I have 4 girls now. They're a captive audience. You wouldn't want to see a movie where the bad guys triumph over the good guys all the time. You'd get bummed out, and you'd just stay at home and watch the news. What I say is what I say. I don't always say the right thing, I don't always say the politically correct thing. I don't have any regrets about that. At 25, you've got millions of brain cells to kill. I had never really dated. I've always been a relationship kind of person. When you think about where are you going to find that big love of your life, you seldom think it's someone you already know. You think it's someone you're yet to meet. I got to work with Dustin Hoffman on a film called Billy Bathgate. I got to work with Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn and Bob Zemeckis on Death Becomes Her. There are still a few actors out there that I would like to work with. Die Hard 2 was okay. It was a little outside the template but it was okay, a hard movie to make technically. Did well at the box office. Successful. I just have more fun when I get to try new things, and the action film genre has kind of painted itself into a corner, copied itself so many times and it has basically run out of bad buys. No one ever thinks about what the hell is going to happen 25 years from now. Justin Timberlake is terrific in this film. I told him it's time to stop singing. Cinema has no boundaries, we all belong to the same artistic community. I wake up laughing. Yes, I wake up in the morning and there I am just laughing my head off. I'm staggered by the question of what it's like to be a multimillionaire. I always have to remind myself that I am. Whether you're a man or not comes from your heart, not how much hair you have on your head. Hair loss is God's way of telling me I'm human. Instead of waiting until crisis problems develop which result in panic praying for others, we need to trust God to protect them as we pray spirit-led, thoughtful, caring prayers before the problems overwhelm them, and they are unable to cope. We need to engage in major battles, not just minor skirmishes, moving from surface praying to in-depth praying. We need to pray both defensively and offensively. Everybody understands that acting is a really difficult job. It's hard work. You've got to get dressed up, you've got to hang around with beautiful women. It's difficult. It's a problem. I just try to go to work, and concentrate on coming home to my girls. My friends are always honest with me about films. But I really wanted to talk to regular people and kind of have a forum to interact with them, not just about films, but about everything.